Hey, this is your boy Bob TV, Freedom on Fire. How you doing today? Hey, y'all, we are being pimped. We're being pimped. We're being pimped. The right to protest is part of our Constitution. The right to assembly is part of our Constitution. The right of speech is part of our Constitution. But do that mean you have the right to just do and say anything you want to say? Do that mean you have the right to speak violence, speak terror, and incite terror? I don't think so. What happened this past week, we had Donald Trump, who finally came out to disavow strongly, whether his heart was in it or not, that's another story. But he came out against the terrorist act. He called out the white supremacists, the Ku Klux Klan, the neo-Nazis, hopefully putting a fork in. Problem is, Donald Trump, you started off your presidency looking like a racist, and people think you're a racist, and I personally believe you got a lot of racist overtone. I don't know your heart, I'm not God, so I can't judge you. I really can't. But you started this, you built this, as they would say. And you look like you're going to be spending the rest of your 4 years, 8 years if Democrats don't get their act together, or 8 years if the Democrats continue to screw the people, of doing the same thing. You look like you're going to be spending 4 to 8 years apologizing for not being strong against racism in these people, because these people feel that you're their president and you're emboldening them to do that. And you got to continue to let them know, no, I'm not your president. I'm the president of the United States. And if you're going to be causing division and preaching anger and spewing this filth out of your mouth in my country, then I'm going to do whatever I can to take away your right to privilege if I have to throw you in jail, your right to freedom of speech and all that kind of stuff. Just all willy-nilly. Of course, you're going to always have the right to speak, but you should be limited on how you speak. I know that may sound crazy, but you shouldn't be able to spew words of downtrodden, murdering, oppressing, locking people up in chains and things like that. You shouldn't be able to preach this. Now, all right, so here's how you're being played. Donald Trump, the president of the United States, he makes his speech. Then he go into how great he is, how great unemployment is. Believe me, if it wasn't for me, we wouldn't have employed 1 million jobs. Believe me, it's me, it's me. Believe me, it's me. Believe me. It's beautiful. I've created all these jobs. You ain't create jack, man. Shut up. That infrastructure was already there before you took the office. You ain't been in that long for you could claim the growth that's going to happen in the next 2 years. Obama put that in place, and it's still working. One of the good things that he put in place. That's his result, not yours, chump. War of the veterans and all that. That's fine. That's fine. But let's get into it. Terry McAuliffe, the governor of Virginia, Hillary Clinton supporter, Democrat, said his speech. Trump said his speech. Point is, this should have never happened anyway. When you're going to have people doing protests, you're supposed to prepare your police, prepare your committee to handle those situations, to be ready, especially when you're knowing this type of protest, when it's an alt-right, unite the right, Ku Klux Klan, white nationalists, whatever you want to call it, white supremacist, terrorist rally. If you know it's going to be like that, you knew there was going to be black people in Charlottesville, white people in Charlottesville, especially at Virginia Tech. They're going to get together to push back on that. So if you know they're going to be spewing that garbage out, they're going to push back on that garbage, and some of it is not going to be pretty. Some of it is not going to be peaceful. So you should have had your police department ready to stand in between that. But you didn't. You should have enlisted the National Guard to be right in between that, because that's a fire ready to burn, and you did nothing to help it. Matter of fact, you put more grass on it. You put more logs on it. You put kerosene on it by the cops not being in their place. But you didn't do that in Ferguson. You didn't do that in Ferguson. You had military-style police departments out there in Ferguson with tanks, freaking tanks, dividing the people from protesting. They were protesting because one of their own got killed. When you could have hit them with the rubber bullets, You could have shot a tranquilizer at him. You could have tased him. But no, he was running, hands in the air, and the cop shot him and got freaking off for it. Yeah, you're going to send military-style police there, but Terry McAuliffe, the Democratic governor of Virginia, friends with Hillary Clinton, who's under investigation himself, a potential criminal himself for fundraising. The governor did not prepare Charlottesville for what was going to happen. Now, governors all over the other nations, and I got a few governors that watch this show, understand that these people are going to be holding these rallies in your area soon. White supremacist, radical white supremacist terrorism is coming to your town soon. So are you going to be prepared for it, or are you going to let stupid mess like this happen where somebody can plow their car in the middle of a protesting crowd? You got the forewarning. This is going to happen. You can go on Facebook, look at their group, which they need to tear down. All of us need to go up there and shut this thing down. But they're going to sit there and hold these meetings and gather people up to these meetings. What are you going to do to diffuse the situation, police department, in the areas where the right to white group, right to white is right. That's the name. The right and Unite the Right, which should be called Unite the White Right group, is coming to your town. Are you going to be prepared, or are you going to let stupid mess like this happen where somebody can get mowed down by a car and go back and forth and run people over? I blame Terry McAuliffe for that, the Democrat. Now, here's the deal. The Democratic Party and the Republican Party are going to try to use this to gain supporters. They're going to try to use this to get votes for the next coming election. They're going to probably use this in some TV ads saying, we're the party of peace. We're the party of anti-fascism. We're the party that's fighting against racism. No, you're not. No, you're not. You get a chance, go watch D'Souza. I know D'Souza is a conservative, but a lot of things that he said in Hillary's America is true. Do your research. It is true. It is bona fide. You can go on probably Netflix or some kind of channel and watch that. It is true. The Democratic Party was the one to fund the Ku Klux Klan. They were the one, this was before neo-Nazi, they were the one that fund the white sheeted, white, the white dress, white hood terrorist group that went around terrorizing black people with their torches on their horses. They done went from riding one horse to riding 4,000 horsepowers right into a crowd of people. Do not be fooled. Do not let these idiots politicize this situation. The Democratic Party is going to say, oh, we're the people. No, you are part of the problem. Right now, Democratic Party are having people to run for office, but not going to give them any real true power. Black Lives Matter went to Hillary Clinton to talk to them and tell them what they need to lift up the community. And she sat there and told them to be quiet. She acted like she was listening to them when she was really in the inside of her heart saying yada, 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 blah, 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 get it over. And according to WikiLeaks, they told her, do not offer, listen to Black Lives Matter, but do not offer any concrete solution to their situation. That was in WikiLeaks. That was from the hacked emails. That they said, yes, listen to Black Lives Matter, but do not offer any concrete solution. Now, the Black Lives Matter knew they weren't going to get nothing from the Republican Party. And the blacks in the Republican Party, they're not going to do nothing much for black people. But here we are. We got a Democratic Party who claim they're for black people, going to tell Black Lives Matter, they're going to give them an order to not give them any concrete solution. But yeah, we're the party of anti-racism and helping for the black people. When? Where? How? Show me what you've done lately. What have you done for us lately? Nothing. But we're going to make this all about Trump being a racist and white nationalism. Yes, it's about Trump and it's about his response, but he didn't set that meeting up in Charlottesville. He didn't give them the ordinance to march and to protest and to assemble themselves. That happened with the city of Charlotte in the state of Virginia, which is ran by Democrats. And right now, this is huge for Democrats because now they can fundraise against Trump, who disavowed this. They can fundraise and make money off Trump like they always do. And then they can run candidates against the Republicans because the Republicans are the racist party. No, yeah, they are racist in the Republican Party, but there's a bunch of racists in the Democratic Party. And you ask Kimberly Ellis, you ask Kimberly Ellis, you ask what's his name? Ran against Tom Perez, Keith Ellison, Kimberly Ellis, the KEs. You ask other people that ran for office, Nina Turner, and they will tell you there's systemic racism in the Democratic Party, always have and always been. Both parties are racist. But they got a lot of black people in the party. Yeah, and Mr. Candy had Stephen and a lot of black people running the plantation when he was gone. But it wasn't their plantation and it wasn't their land. They worked there as slaves. And just because you hold an office in the Democratic Party, and just because you got your position, Maxine Waters, do not mean you're not being pimped out as a slave. A bunch of Stevens that's not going to do nothing for the field Negroes or the house Negroes but dominating. You go back and watch Django Chain. Stephen, the character Stephen played by Samuel L. Jackson, was just as bad as Candy. And while Candy was gone, Stephen ran that plantation. He ran the white people on the plantation. He ran the guys who take care of the horses, the guys who take care of the land. You know, he ran all that. Stephen, the black man. But Stephen was still a slave. He probably had the name of an indentured servant, but that was nothing but a glorified slave. And if he crossed Mr. Candy one time wrong, Mr. Candy will strip him of his shirt and beat the crap out of his back. And if he walked too hard, he had the right to hang him. So just because there are black people in the Democratic Party doesn't mean they're the party of black people. Neither one of these parties are the party of black people. Just because they got black people in those parties, Republicans got black people in their party, Democrats got black people in their party, but they are Stevens. They talk the game, they dominate, they do whatever they can, but do nothing to enhance and uplift black people. Name me some legislation. Hit it below in the comment section and name me some legislation that Barack Obama put in place just for black people. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Barack Obama. He did do some things that I thought was great for all people. But I'm talking about black people. Now, we're in this thing where, you know, it's Black Lives Matter and we're fighting against fascism, we're fighting against racism, and we're looking at different top leaders. Tell me, put it below in the comment section. Name me legislations that Loretta Lynch pushed. Name me legislation that Eric Holder, and I met Eric Holder, he's a cool guy, but he still ain't did nothing for black people. I met Eric Holder, 125th Street at the Red Rooster. Doggone guards, the doggone Secret Service pushed me out the way so he can go inside. But I did get a chance to chop it up with him for a few minutes. Nice guy, but I ain't did nothing for black people. Nothing. Barack Obama, cool, nice guy. Nothing for black people. So my view is they're pimping us on both sides. Both sides. All to get a vote to seize power. And they're going to use this situation to win elections in 2018. Calling the other party the racist party when both parties is racist. Like I said before, you go check your history. The Democratic Party was the party that a lot of the Democratic leadership donned those hoods and rode those horses and went out and said, yeah, let's get us a nigger. Let's go out there and get us a nigger. I got me one horse. and go out there and string them up, and we're going to string this nigger up, and we're going to tar and feather this nigger, and go right back into the legislative hall and try to pass laws. Yeah, that started in the Democratic Party. Now, don't get me wrong, it jumped over into the Republican Party. No, none of these parties are on the side of black people. They act like it. We hope that one day they're going to be. But just because black people are there doesn't mean black people own the Democratic Party. Black people do not own the Democratic Party. They do not own the RNC. Even while what's his name was running the RNC, they cut him out of the RNC quick, fast, and hurry to let him know that, hey, Negro, you know who I'm talking about. Michael Steele. Michael Steele ran the RNC before Rance Previous got in, and they cut that Negro off real quick. And the only reason they put that Negro in is because they needed something to counteract Barack Obama. And yeah, Barack Obama seemed like he's a hero to the Democratic Party, but he's done nothing for black people. In my book, he was another Stephen. Now he's off in the sunset, flying around with Richard Branson, and he earned that. Don't get me wrong, he earned that. He worked 8 years fighting against the opposition with the Republican Party, but yet there were people in the Democratic Party that opposed him too. And there was a lot of things he did that should have been opposed. So don't get it twisted. Don't let them hoodwink and fool you and pull one over you. These two parties are not in the business of elevating black people. And these two parties are promoting stuff like this. George Soros, friend of the Democrats, are funding some of these groups. Not all of them, and it's small, but I believe he may be funding some of these groups. Same way on the right. The Koch brothers may be funding some of these groups. They funded the Tea Party and a lot of ultra-right parties. So don't get it twisted. These two parties are pimping you for votes, and they're going to use this to smear the other person to get votes, to get your votes. They think you are that dumb that you're not knowing it. I'm here to let you know. I'm letting you know right now. That's what they're going to do. Look out for it. Terry McAuliffe, Democratic governor of Virginia, who's under indictment himself, ethics charges himself, knew that this was going to happen in Charlottesville. He knew that these people would come to protest, and he did not prepare for it. It's going to be like any other rally. No. I'm done. I'm letting you know, don't be hoodwinked. Malcolm X said it. Don't be bamboozled. Don't let them pull one over your eyes. The Democratic Party is going to use this, and they're going to look forward. Let me tell you something. They are looking forward to more of these things happen. Why? Because they want to use this to say the other guy's bad and we're good. When you look deep systemically in the Democratic Party, no, they're not good. They have super delegates where no matter how good you vote for a certain person, they still gonna make the overall decision on who they want to run. Your vote don't freaking count in the Democratic Party. As long as they got super delegates, your vote do not count. As long as they got closed primaries, your vote do not count. You demand that they get rid of the super delegates and get rid of the closed primary, open up all the primaries, then your vote count. Until then, your vote don't count. And when your vote don't count, it's still voter suppression, and it still leads up to oppressing Mexicans, oppressing blacks, oppressing all different kind of cultures. The same thing we accuse Donald Trump of. Both of them are using you and abusing you. And until you wake up and become an independent voter and vote on policies from a person running from office outside of parties, you're going to continue to get pimped. Don't let them use racism to pimp you of a vote. I'm Bob TV, Freedom on Fire. I'll at you later. Peace. Hey, this is your boy Bob TV with Freedom on Fire and Rob Report. I want to thank you for watching the webcast. Make sure you share these segments all across your social media network. Like and share,
subscribe, and maybe I invite a couple other people to do the same thing. You make the difference. I also want to thank you for those who support this channel through Patreon, whether it's 50 cents to $50 million. It goes right back into what we do here. So like the lights that you're looking at right now, that's because of something that you did. So I really appreciate it. I want to thank my man Vegematic for the Blue Yeti mic, one of the top microphones out right now. He knew I needed the mic, so he blessed me with it. So all of you guys make the difference into this channel growing, and I really want to appreciate you for that. Also, by all means, again, continue to share your comments at the bottom of each video. Just don't get so visceral to the people who may disagree with me or may disagree with you. This calling out name stuff, that's not for this channel. So please try not to call people names, personal names. Now you can call some of the stuff they talk about crap. I say that, but just don't attack people personally. Words really hurt when you start attacking people personally, because these people really believe these things, and you're not gonna take away their belief by calling them names. So please don't do that on this channel. But nevertheless, I appreciate you guys. We're shooting for 2,000 now, so I need your help. So as my pastor would say, reach one, teach one. I mean, let's reach out. You got the information, make sure you share with other people and try to get them to subscribe to the channel so we can grow and expand. Again, the money, the finances that you give in your Patreon account, it goes into equipment. So I want to thank you for personally helping this endeavor grow. I'm Bob TV, Freedom on Fire, Rob Report. Peace.